Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the 7th chapter of science, that is conservation of plants and animals. Our today chapter name is conservation of plants and animals. In this chapter we are going to cover the topic that is deforestation and its causes, what is biodiversity, consequence of deforestation, conservation of wildlife, biosphere, then flora and fauna, endemic species. These topics we are going to cover in this video. So students, as we know, there is a large variety of life forms exist on earth, right? So they are essential for our survival. The number and variety of plants and animals and other organisms, their interrelationships and their relation with the environment, they all exist as, that is known as what? Biodiversity. So every component of biodiversity, from microorganisms to the huge elephant, serves an important functions in nature. Yes or no? So some of these species of plants as well as animals, they have become extinct. So one of the most serious environmental problem faced by us is loss of biodiversity. So there are number of causes which is responsible for this all. Okay, so first we will see what is deforestation. Deforestation and their causes. So what is deforestation? The clearing of forest and using the land for other purposes is called deforestation. Understood? Deforestation is one of the major threat to the survival of the organisms. We have already studied that deforestation is a large scale cutting of trees and clearing of forest. Yes. So what is the reason of deforestation? It increases requirement of land for agriculture. Yes or no? Then the construction of roads, houses, factories and dams. This is happening because of increasing populations. So increased requirement of wood also is there for making what? Furniture, in construction also, even in making paper, etc. So wood is being used as what? As fuel also, right? So some natural causes of deforestation include forest fires and lowering of water table caused due to droughts. So you can see here the causes for deforestation are procuring land for cultivations. Procuring means obtain land for cultivations. Then it is also for building houses and factories, using wood as fuel or making furnitures, right? Even for making paper also. So the natural causes of deforestation are forest and drought, right? This is what the fire is taking place in forest. You can see the figure. So this is what the natural causes of deforestations. Next is consequence of deforestation. Here the consequence of deforestations, they are increase in temperature and pollution level on the earth. So as the temperature increase, right, the temperature increase, see what happened when the temperature is increased? Trees take in what? They takes in carbon dioxide, and what they gives out? They give out the oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Yes or no? So deforestation leads to increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere, which may lead to global warming also. Understood? Then what happened? They increase in air and soil pollution also. Understood? When the temperature is increased, they increase the air and soil pollution also on the earth. Understood? Then what happens? Lowering of groundwater level means when the rainfall, okay, lesser rainfall resulting what? They will result in low groundwater level. Means trees release water vapors during the process of transpirations. Yes or no? We have learned this all in class 7th. So trees, they will release water vapors during the process of transpirations. So destroying of trees will lead to lower amount of water vapors in the atmosphere. Yes or no? So this makes the atmosphere drier and leads to reduced rainfall. Understood? Then is disturbs the balance in nature. They will disturb the balance in nature also. Then decrease in rainfall leading to drought. Here the natural calamities, they will increase, such as floods and droughts. So trees help to absorb water from the ground. Understood? If the deforestation take place, then there will be the increased chances of natural calamities like floods and drought, right? So these trees, what they do, they help us to absorb rainwater from the ground. So excess water would cause floods due to soil erosions. So increase in temperature due to falling of trees will disturb the water cycle, and that leads to less rainfall and cause what? Drought. Yes or no? Then what happens? Soil erosion and decreases in soil fertility, which leading to desertifications. Yes or no? See, roots of trees bind the soil particles together. Yes or no? The roots of trees, they bind the soil particles together. So due to deforestation, what happens? Soil erosion can take place due to what? Due to wind and moving water. So loss of topsoil will reduce what? They will reduce the fertility of the soil, as it is rich in humus and nutrients. Understood? They are rich in humus and nutrients. When the deforestation take place, the loss of topsoil will reduce. When they reduce, the fertility of the soil also reduce, as it is very rich in humus and nutrients. So removal of top layer of the soil exposes what? Exposes the lower hard and rocky layers. Understood? They will all destroy it out. They will remove all it out. Understood? That is what we called as a desertifications. Next point is decrease in the water holding capacity of soil leading to floods. Means here it leads to reduction in the binding capacity of the soil particle. Okay, they will reduce. So landslides are a consequence of this reduction in binding capacity. So soil texture and nutrients contained are adversely affected. Yes or no? They will affected only. So cutting down trees destroy the homes of many species of animals also. Many species of animals and plants are not able to adjust to the changing climate. They will cause, because due to the deforestation, which is resulting in many species they become very extinct. Understood? So this is what about the consequence of deforestations. Now, as I told you, drought, there are such natural calamities which is such as floods and droughts. Now what is drought? Droughts are fewer trees would mean that less carbon dioxide will be used up, resulting in its increased amount in the atmosphere. Okay, so this will lead to global warming as carbon dioxide traps the heat, the rays reflected by the earth. So the increase in temperature on the earth disturbs the water cycles and may reduce what? They will reduce the rainfall. This could cause droughts. You can see here, without water, how that land is there. Yes or no? So this is what when the it is means when fewer trees means there is less carbon dioxide used up, right, in the increased amount in the atmosphere. That will leads to what? They will leads to global warming. And when it leads to a global warming, as carbon dioxide is going to traps the heat, and that heat will raise what? Reflections to the earth, and there the increase in temperature on the earth will disturb the water cycle also, and then they may reduce the rainfall. Understood? Next, the desertification. As I told you, the removal of top layer of soil. They exposes the hard and rocky layer of lower layers which have very less humus and nutrients, or you can say air. As there are less fertile, soil becomes like desert. It is termed as desertifications. You can see removal of this top layer of this soil. They exposes the hard and this rocky lower layers which they have a very less humus, right? There they know there is no water at all. Understood? So what happens over there? The loss of topsoil will reduce the fertility of the soil. Yes or no? They will reduce the fertility of the soil. Due to this deforestation, what happens? Soil erosion take place due to wind and moving water. So removal of this layer of the soil exposes the lower hard and the rocky layers, and then the fertile soil gets converted into deserts. They converts into deserts. That is what we called as a desertifications. Understood? That is what we called as a desertification. Next is conservation of forest and wildlife. Now, as you know that forest and wildlife have to be maintained. Yes or no? They have to be maintained, they preserved, and they should be conserved. The preservations and careful management of plant and animal species is called conservation. What is conservation? Conservation is nothing but the preservation and careful management. You know, a gardener, what they do? They take care of our plants. A gardener, what they do? They take care of our plants. Like that, the preservations and careful management of plant and animal species is called as conservations. So our life depends on forest in several ways. Okay, our life is depend on forest in several ways. See, biosphere is that part of the earth in which living organism exist, right, or which supports life. Okay, they supports life. Several steps have been taken by the government to preserve biodiversity. Now you can see forest and wildlife can be conserved by setting up areas like biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, etc. Yes or no? So what is biosphere? Biosphere means various protected areas have been established to protect the flora and fauna and their natural habitats. Understood? So these protected areas are called sanctuaries. Understood? They are called as sanctuaries, national parks and biosphere reserves. They were established under the Wildlife Protection Act. They were established under the Wildlife Protection Act. So these protected sites are natural areas that allow native organisms to flourish, and all kinds of human intervention leading to the destruction of habitats are removed from this area. Understood? They all removed from this area. So hence what happened? Cultivation, grazing, then falling of trees, hunting, they all are strictly prohibited. Understood? That's why they are strictly prohibited in these areas. So the government has laid down strict rules and policy which are implemented in these areas. Understood? So what is biosphere reserves? It is a large areas of protected land for conservation of biodiversity and the traditional life of the tribals living there. What is the national park? National parks are areas reserved for wildlife where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. Then wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuaries are areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them or their habitat. Understood? This was the conservation of forest and wildlife. See, zoos. Zoos are places where animals are protected. Yes or no? So, but it is an artificial setting. It is an artificial setting. It is not a natural habitat. Natural habitat is not there. Natural habitats which are there, which they have, that is in a forest. Understood? Now biosphere, we have learned that biosphere is meant for the conservation of what? Conservation of biodiversity, and it is a large area of protected land which develop what? Conserve wildlife, plant and the traditional life of the tribal living there. Then the it it reserve may contain other protective areas also. For example, if I say Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve, it consists of one national park that is named as Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries that is named as Bori and Pachmarhi. Understood? See, you can see here biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserves are large areas of protected land for conservation of biodiversity and the traditional life of the tribals living there. Biodiversity is a variety of plants, animals and microorganisms which are found in the area. The Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve consists of national park called as Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries called Bori and Pachmarhi. Okay, this is what the biosphere reserves. Understood? Next is flora and fauna. Flora are the plants found in a particular area. Okay, see, flora and fauna, they are the important natural resources. What are they? They are the important natural resources. The large number of plants living in a particular area. Okay, the large number of plants which lives in a particular area are called the flora of a place. And fauna are the animals found in a particular area. The large number of animals living in a particular area are called as fauna. See, example of flora, you can see flora of Pachmarhi consists of sal, teak, wild mango, jamun, silver ferns, etc. These all are the examples of flora. Okay, this is what sal, then silver ferns. This is what you can say, that is teak. Okay, then the fauna of Pachmarhi consists of wild dog, cheetal, wolf, leopard, blue bull, barking deer, etc. Okay, these are the examples of flora and fauna. Next, endemic species. Endemic species means what? They are restricted to a certain place. No, endemic species means those species of plants and animals found only in a particular area and not found anywhere else. It is found only in a particular area. It is not commonly found in anywhere. It can be seen in a particular area only. Endemic species is one found naturally in an area. It is not a artificial, it is a naturally which is found in area with notable restrictions on its overall distribution. Understood? So they are not naturally found anywhere. They are unique to a particular space. Understood? What is endemic species? They are unique to a particular species. They are not found naturally anywhere. They are found naturally in that particular area only. Understood? So species, what is species? Species, it is a group or a class of animals or plants having common characteristics like you can say similar body parts, their functions, right? Same eating habits, same habitat, interbreed and reproduce. What is interbreed and reproduce? Means fertile offsprings. They will fertile their offsprings only with the members of their own species. They will do not interbreed with the other species. They will reproduce their fertility, their offsprings only with the members of their own species. Okay, that is what species is. It is, they are grouped or they are class of animals or plants having common characteristics. Examples of endemic species you can see here. Sal and wild mango are the endemic flora of Pachmarhi. Bison, that is Indian giant squirrel, and flying squirrel, they are the endemic fauna of this area. Giant means you can see so big squirrel it is. Yes or no? Very big squirrel. Or you can see the flying squirrel. They are the examples of endemic fauna. Okay, so giant panda, have you heard about the panda? They are also endemic to the mountains of Sichuan. Okay, then Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion is endemic to Gir National Park in Gujarat. Have you heard the Gir National Park, which is in Gujarat, right? Even they include this bison, which is a Indian giant squirrel, and flying squirrel. They are the example of endemic flora. Understood? This is what we have studied in this chapter, that is conservation of plants and animals. So dear students, I request just go with your textbook, read the textbook, understand what is given in your textbook, and listen this video carefully. Then try to solve out the filling the blanks till where I have taught you. Understood? Then after that, in second video I will teach you the wildlife sanctuary, what is national park, right? Then the red data book, migrations and reforestations. These are the topics which is left in this chapter that we will do in the part 2 video. Till then, take care, have a nice day. Thank you.